This part model contains a surface that's 4,000 inches by 2,000 inches, and that surface is offset another 1,000 inches. And here I have a sketch. Let's zoom in on it. And it's hard to see if I edit definition. You can see that it's 1 inch by 1 inch. Let's try to extrude this. So with it selected, I'll click the extrude button, and zooming out, Creo Parametric is suggesting that I extrude it a length of like 1145, and I can drag it. But what you'll notice is that I don't have a preview of the feature as I'm trying to create it. And if I hit the check mark, I'm going to get an error that the feature failed to regenerate. But it was a very simple sketch. It was just a 1 by 1 square. Let's return to the tool. And if I click on the troubleshooter, it'll tell me that there's a problem with the dimensions. It's very small compared to the rest of the part. And it mentions something about accuracy that I'll come back to in a second. Let's say I try to change that extrude depth to a value of 1. I'm also going to get an error that the value is out of range. It looks like the minimum that allows me to specify is 1.08. But again, even if I do that, it still fails. All this deals with something in Creo Parametric called accuracy. And accuracy deals with the smallest curve length that your model is capable of seeing. And if you want to see what your model's accuracy is, you can go to File, Prepare, Model Properties. But that's such a convenient command, I recommend putting it in your quick access toolbar. You'll notice the third line in here is for the accuracy, and I can click the change button. And the accuracy by default is using something called a relative accuracy of 0.0012. What does this have to deal with? Let me cancel out of here. If you go to the Tools menu, and then under Investigate, there's a command called Model Size, and Model Size measures the cross-diagonal length of your model. Let me do that one more time so you can see this cross-diagonal length. And it tells me that the length of the bounding box is 4652 and some change inches. And so the accuracy is that relative value times this cross-diagonal length multiplied by some other factor, and it's kind of ambiguous what those factors are. You might be able to find information on it in the PTC knowledge base. But again, this deals with the smallest curve length that Creo Parametric is capable of seeing. And so if you have a really big model like I have here, and you're trying to work with really small features, Creo Parametric can have regeneration failures simply because of that. So, a couple different things that you can do. First off, if I go to File, Options, Configuration Editor, there are a few different config.pro options that deal with accuracy. First off, I have one enabled called Enable Absolute Accuracy, and I have that set to yes. Be aware the default value is no. And with Enable Absolute Accuracy set to yes, when I go to my Model Properties dialog box, and click on the change hyperlink for this accuracy, instead of using a relative accuracy, you can change to an absolute accuracy. And the general recommendation, and I agree with this, is that you and your companies or product design organizations should be using an absolute accuracy based on the models that you work on. Some other situations where absolute accuracy is critical or even required is if you're doing manufacturing. For example, mold design requires that your models be set to an absolute accuracy. Also, if you're using data sharing features like copy geometry features or shrink wrap features, a lot of times it's really important that the source model and the target model have the same accuracy. Otherwise, you can end up getting regeneration failures in those data sharing features. And so I could choose absolute accuracy over here. And let me see if I try a value of 0.25 and then click the regenerate button. That way I've set an absolute accuracy, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to extrude, oops, I did edit definition. Maybe I'll be able to extrude this feature now. Looks like the preview still is not showing up. Oh wait, look, I do have a preview now. So that shows me that by changing the accuracy, I'm actually able to build this extrude feature now when I'm using an absolute accuracy. Let me mention another thing about relative accuracy though. Let me hit the change button over here. If I change this to relative, by default it is at 0.0012. If you're getting regeneration failures and you want to make this value smaller, a lot of times it's recommended that you sort of like work your way down. Change from 0012 to 0010, then 0008, and then down to 6 and 4. You can go by default to a minimum of 0.0001 with the default values set up in Creo Parametric. Just be aware that when you're messing around with this accuracy, it can actually affect your model size. Let me mention a couple other config.pro options. If I go to File, Options, Configuration Editor, then we can click Find. I'm going to type in the keyword accuracy and click the Find Now button. So there are a few other ones in here, and here you have the default absolute accuracy. That's what you can set up for your config.pro to drive the absolute accuracy default value in your models. And another one to mention is this accuracy lower bound. That one, you can change the default of that lower limit for the relative accuracy, which I said was by default 0.0001. You can go all the way down to 1 times 10 to the minus 6 with the accuracy lower bound. In Creo Parametric 5.0, there are a couple other options that were added that deal with modifying the absolute accuracy when you are converting or scaling a model from one set of units to another set of units. So let's close out of there and click OK out of here. And again, one thing to mention is that you should have your accuracy set up in your company's default templates, your start parts and your start assemblies. And again, the general recommendation is that you should be using absolute accuracy when you can, based on your products that you are creating. You should be able to figure out what your absolute accuracy should be and set that up in your default templates. But again, your users should be aware of this and know how to change the values. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more information, please visit www.creowindchill.com. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button to be informed when new videos are uploaded. Thank you very much.